just going to show you here, there's a subliminal right here. There's one right there that you can clearly see a face, like right where my nail is. Once you zoom in, you can see the forehead, the eyes, the nose, and that one. And then right here where my thumb is, there's a skull, or once you zoom in, it may be a dog. Let's see, because now I zoom in. So there's the one where you can see the guy's face like clearer. You can see his hairline, his eyes, his nose, right there. And this is on the sidewalk. This is from one of the videos that I posted about the subliminal images being detected. There, you can almost see one now. It's kind of picking up another one. This thing has many of these. So that's it. You can see right here, you can clearly see a face. And then right there. Okay, so this is my DNA. I'm going to get back to this in a minute. But if you notice, there's no end markers, so that makes me biologically immortal for most things. So, you know, I'll get back to this in a minute, but that's going to explain why I'd be a royal in a second. Like that entire map is my DNA. The only thing that isn't is the white section. So I'm just going to check out a YouTube video here that I have saved. So for one of the subliminals, you can see how that clearly looks like an alien. Like, watch when I play it. It looks like the alien is about to eat one of those Easter Island.
Once somebody knows the frequency, that's my proprietary information.
So I'm just going to show you the subliminals that I caught in this particular day. So the front part of the alien, this is what the cloud looked like when I zoomed in, and you can see the eyes, the nose, the mouth. There it is right there. And you can also see another hidden subliminal right here. And they do this through chemtrails. I believe it's aluminum, STRONIUM, and BARIUM, those chemicals. I don't want to mispronounce them. So there's the face, there's this. And they're able to shape the clouds. Okay, well, I guess I'm into this now. So this is a famous psychic who is almost a carbon copy of my sister, Nicole. And here's James Cook. I'll just see if I can zoom in. Because he had a child with Charlotte Mecklenburg-Strelitz, and as you can see, that very, really close resemblance of him. Same with my father and my son. And here's Queen Victoria, and at this point, my grandmother on my father's side looked like her, because I'm related to Queen Victoria on my mother's side and my father's side. So I'm going to start back out at my DNA. As if you could see, you can't really see it, but it says German, Bavaria, you're going to see that in a minute, and England, United Kingdom, one second, I'm just going to pause it to read it. Minnesota, New York, Alabama. I didn't even know I had relatives there, but I guess I do. And once again, where those arrows are, there's no end markers for my DNA. So let's see. So we'll go right here. So this is Prince Henry. I resemble him, and so does my uncle. Like, my uncle's almost a carbon copy of this man. Princess Charlotte, my cousin Ryan looked like her when he was a young boy. This looks like my cousin Christina. This looks like my sister Nicole. This is Haile Selassie, and I have the same skeletal structure as this man, and we are related. This is King George V, and I see myself in him, my father, and my brother. This is Mao Zedong, and my grandfather is a descendant of him on my mother's side. My grandfather's hairline actually receded the same way as him, and I'll find you another guy real fast. So this is Frederick William IV of Prussia. He was a king, but as you can see, how his hair receded the same way as Mao Zedong. So Frederick William and Mao Zedong are relatives, as well as my grandfather, because all three of them, their hairs receded the exact same way, and they had the same eyes and everything. And once again, there's Mao Zedong. And here's a Japanese emperor from 1870, but as you can see that I bear resemblance to the man. Like, we have the same structure, and this is Emperor, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but it might be Meiji. It was Meiji. This is this could be it's hard to say because my sister looks like a lot of princesses and queens, but this looks like my sister, and this could be either Queen Beatrice or Princess Beatrice. And here's Edward VIII, and close. Every time I see this picture, except for when it's close, like right there, I think it's me, and then I get closer, then I can see that her eyes are slightly different. He was the last king. Well, he abdicated in December 11th, 1936, and if my family, who these people took after, were there, he would have been in power, or he would have passed this on to my family, because we have the strongest link to everybody down the line. Here's Queen Victoria, that looks like my mom's eyes. Here's who's this one? This is Princess Victoria, but that looks like my daughter and my sister. And this is a German emperor, Kaiser Wilhelm, and his eyes. I have his eyes, and so does my mother. This guy looks like my dad completely, with his eyes and his nose. So this is Frederick III of Prussia. So this is Charlotte of Mecklenburg-Strelitz, and you can see my sister Nicole looks like her, and my mom. And in this picture, my cousin Natalie, who takes after the Meyer side of my family, looks like her. Here's another picture of her, and you can see that you know, my mom looks like her. But basically, she was the queen of you know, of England, more or less, in United Kingdom, and Hanover, House of Hanover. But Captain James Cook must have been, you know, celebrated, you know, find in Australia and things like that, that he was hanging out with the Queen and the King, and eventually he had multiple children with her, because at least 3 of her children look like him. So it's no coincidence that he died on Valentine's Day as, you know, a way to kind of shut him up. I'm just gonna try. I'm trying to see another one. I'm just gonna pause it. It's hard to tell, but she was a mulatto, and all 4 of my lines passed through this woman. That's what would make me King of England right now, is the fact that I have the most connections. Actually, here's one right here. Oh, this is why I kind of jumped. Where did it go? I gotta find it. So this is what makes me royal here. I'm gonna try to zoom in here without it. It's kind of blurring, but you can kind of see it. So now I'm going to show you a picture of one of my nieces. So here's my niece. This is you know, a few years ago, but that's what she looks like. And I'll go back to the Mecklenburg picture. And there she is. And there's one relative. I'm going to see if I can find it. And it's amazing because you know, my niece, she is a twin, but this picture, I could see this person who was half of each twin. It was amazing. So like they took out, like, my twin nieces take after this one princess in the past, and it's like her soul splitter or something. So I just stumbled across this, but you know, you can see that I look like her and my sister. We kind of have the same nose, but I'm going to try to find that hybrid twin picture. So this isn't quite it, but this is you know, Princess Amelia. This is Charlotte Mecklenburg-Strelitz. Is one of her daughters, and as you can see, she looks like my niece Alexis. So it does need to be edited, because really it was you know, she was the first daughter and 4th child of James Cook of the United Kingdom and Charlotte Mecklenburg-Strelitz, because you know, that looks like my niece once again. She didn't have any kids. I'm just gonna see what other ones did. Here's Princess Elizabeth, and she actually looks like my niece Alyssa, one of the twins. So Ernest, but pretty much any one of these people, you know, I'm gonna spot people in my family, except for these ones. They're too young. Oops. Let's see. I'm trying to go to Ernest here. Okay, so he's a little older, so it makes it harder. So this is George IV. He's supposed to be King George III's son with Charlotte Mecklenburg-Strelitz, but as if you can see right there, that looks just like me. And when I zoom in, you know, it still looks like me. It's just a matter of finding the royals that look like you at the same age. So let's see what else I can find. And this is a young picture of Queen Victoria, and you know, this looks like my grandmother, you know, and my sister. It's crazy. So once again, this is my DNA profile. As if you could see, let's see. So Australia, Alabama, Bavaria, United Kingdom, and New York. But you know, I showed you Mao. Mao's on there. There's Japan, Indonesia. I'm related to everywhere except for where there's white. And if you could look right here, there's no end loops for the normal range. In every DNA profile I seen, they had end loops. And knowing that, you know, I've been exposed to every disease known to man, and ever since I found out I had this evolutionary DNA, I'm not, you know, haven't gotten sick. And basically, the reason why I got my DNA tested is, you know, my ex-wife's boyfriend of all people, he's like, in the future, everybody's going to be good looking. And then, you know, I was working at the shipping and receiving place, and, you know, one of the slips, the name on the slip was Worst Evolution. And then, you know, another thing is Donald Trump's like, I don't always, when I give a gift, I don't always, it's not small, basically. You know, it wasn't going to be a small gift. So those three pieces of information kind of got me tested, because I wanted to see if I had Australia here on my DNA. And so, you know, knowing that my parents, you know, my mom is Danish, my dad's from United Kingdom. Actually, I'm going to pause that in a second. But anyway, so I just expected to see Denmark, you know, Canada, Denmark, United Kingdom, and Germany on my map. I didn't expect to see all this, because as a child, we did hear that we were related to Captain James Cook, and we were given pearl-handled pistols that we've since lost in the sands of time. Okay, so in some of these genetic markers right here, I share with the current royal family, the Acton royal family. They just, you know, they're royal, but they're just not the headline. My family's been the headline. And, but we just been washed down, like, you know, we forgot that we were royal, you know, throughout the ages. So, you know, that's basically it. So once I do have my DNA, you know, proven in court, and, you know, I'll be declared the king of the United Kingdom. I was seeking asylum from from Canada in Denmark, and I was not provided a geneticist because, you know, I was trying to, you know, my gamut was more or less was seek asylum in Denmark, since I was offered Danish, and, you know, I was born a Dane. I had until 18 to be able to get my citizenship. So I shouldn't even have gotten deported. But, you know, when you're trying to get a kingdom out of seeking a refugee asylum claim, then you run into problems. So more or less, you know, I just need a geneticist or a positron emissions tomography test, and that's about it. And that's it.